physical and mental health, while also raising money for legacy in the lead up to Anzac Day. The Run Army event saw participants tackle 5 and 10 kilometre courses. The event is in its 4th year. We're aiming high on Flashback this week to remember the first South Australian to go into space. It's now 3 decades since Andy Thomas blasted off from Florida, inspiring a whole generation to reach for the stars.
Standing by for the handoff to Endeavour's onboard computers.
The power of the thing is frightening.
5, 4, 3.
And then you see the rockets fire.
2, 1.
And then you hear them. And then you feel them.
And liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour.
This was the moment the first South Australian was launched into space, a dream decades in the making.
Someone growing up in the 60s, during the moon program in South Australia, the prospect that you might one day be an astronaut was just inconceivably remote.
When they were flying, shuttles were a big deal.
Paul Marshall was our US correspondent at the time and followed Andy Thomas's journey every step of the way.
Andy Thomas has been here before to help others go, but this time it's different.
Oh yeah, you bet. Absolutely.
There was 4 years of training to be flight ready.
We'll be unstrapping, opening the hatch, bailing out.
It's just training, training, training.
Everyone else on the 6-man crew has been up before. Thomas is the rookie.
Paul Marshall joins us now live from Kennedy Space Centre in Florida. Good morning, Paul. This is obviously an exciting time for Andrew Thomas.
He looked like a kid with a new toy, which I think is exactly what he's got.
Back home in Adelaide, Andy's dad Adrian and his stepmother Jill came into our studios to watch the launch, not well enough to travel to Florida.
As the minutes counted down, Adrian admitted he would have given anything to be there with his son, even to the point of being in the shuttle himself.
We are 5 kilometres from the launch pad. It is as close as any spectator is allowed to get.
As the countdown began,
T-minus 10, 9, 8.
one thing was on everyone's mind.
Everyone's thinking of Challenger, of course. Challenger, go with throttle up.
Challenger, go with throttle up. Challenger, go with throttle up.
And even Andrew admitted himself that there were some scenarios in which nothing could be done.
But it all went perfectly.
A flawless liftoff for Andrew Thomas's first ride in space.
Here's to Andy, yeah.
And I think my spaceship knows which way to go.
It wasn't long before he was admiring the view.
I'm moving up to a window. I've been told by the controllers that we're directly over Adelaide, and I can see it.
The mission made a textbook return after 10 days in space.
Main gear touchdown.
And then they bring them over to where all the news crews are for a news conference. And he saw me and he walked over and he shook my hand. He said, "Good day, Paul, how you doing?" And I'm thinking, how am I doing? How are you doing? You just came from space.
When Andy got home to Adelaide, he was given the keys to the city and treated like a rock star at his old school.
Reception students had been the hardest workers, but not all want to follow their hero into space.
It's so scary in space.
He'd go on to fly 3 more shuttle missions and spend time on the Mir space station, proving dreams do come true.
Who gets to do a ride like that? Very few people.
Those were the days, all right. Well, dogs with itchy paws and other